is so weird playing back on these normal maps. Um, hey guys, what's up? I know I just finished off like what, a 7-hour stream, something like that. I know all I know was that it was long as fuck. Uh, anyway, I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about my thoughts on the Tortured Path and what I think about it, and if I like it. The hitboxes are weird for some reason today. Although, anyway, so let's just get straight into it, I guess. There's not really a huge intro that I want to make, because I'm about to go to bed for a bit. Anyway, so my thoughts on it. I'm not mixed, I would say. I'm just a little confused. So what I was expecting was big maps, and because there was 3 maps, so I was like, okay, they're gonna be big and cool and all that kind of stuff. And they're really not huge. Like, they're not tiny by any means. Like, I'd say they're not big maps whatsoever. If anything, they're half the size, if that, of Final Reich. Um, but they're not tiny at all. The only one that's necessarily tiny is the second map, um, the boat one. I already forgot the name of the map. Good going, Reflex. Anyway, uh, so like I said, I don't want to say that I'm mixed about it because I like it. I really like the DLC. I think it's a good change for the game. I just think it's good. Um, but yeah, so there are 3 maps. I wouldn't really call them fully fleshed out maps because they don't have an Easter egg. They just have pack-a-punch perks, and it's kind of like war in a sense for zombies, which I love that idea. That idea is awesome. So now, what I want to talk about first off is, like I said, the map size. The first one is probably the biggest so far. The first one has, I don't know, I'd say it's about half the size of Final Reich. The first one definitely, like I said, is the biggest. Second one is the smallest. It's kind of, I'd say it's as big as Nocturne and Toten, maybe a little bigger. But it feels bigger than that. It just, like, it looks, in terms of actual sheer size, it's a lot small. It's really small. It's the smallest map in the game besides Grossen House. And the third map, we don't really know how big it is yet. At least my crew that I finished it with tonight, well, quote unquote finished it with tonight. We don't really know how big the third map is because we don't know what's behind that door. Because I'm pretty sure that that's what I think is gonna happen is that that's where round 11 is gonna be at, and that's the ending, and it's gonna have like an ending and stuff, which is why I called it pre-ending and not pre-Easter egg, because there isn't really an Easter egg on any of the maps, I don't think, that I could find. And once again, we didn't really search that much. We just kind of thought about it and quickly glanced over it to see if there was anything that we could immediately point out as being Easter egg. But the main negative that I gotta say about this map pack is that it is not noob friendly. Like, at first, it is 110% not noob friendly. Like, if you've never played the game, or if like you're used to like normal zombies that has like, it's just like a big map and it's just like kind of like just free roam type stuff, like kind of like the endless mode in Killing Floor 2, like it's doesn't not a whole lot to it, then you're either gonna be disappointed or surprised because these are really difficult. Like, they are pretty damn difficult. Like, I'd rank them as probably the most difficult maps. I mean, sure, right now they're easy for me, but that's just because I gotten used to them. And they're still challenging. Like, I don't think that challenge will ever go away. They're all challenging in their own way. The third one, I think, will be less challenging the second time around because we know that the guy leeches off of stuff. Anyway, so they're all kind of war-esque maps. But I don't think any of them are bad. I just think that the second one I didn't like at first because it's small and like it's like a downgrade almost from the first map. So I didn't like it at first, but now I've gotten used to it and I think it's better. But let's talk about my expectations and what it meant in terms of that. So, I'm not gonna lie, it met pretty much 0 of my expectations. It's not big, it doesn't have, I mean, it has content per se, but it's not like an insane amount of content. Like, it's not bare bones either. It's kind of hard to explain unless you've seen the stream or actually played played the map. Um, it's like I said, it's not bare bones, and it doesn't have a shit ton of content loaded into it. Um, like the most I'd say that's gonna bring me back to that is it's fun, and the little attachments you can get on your guns afterwards that do like plus 10 damage, which actually helps out a lot more than you would think. Um, but yeah, it's not noob friendly, so if you're a noob or if you stop playing this game for a while and you're trying to get back into it, play Shadowed Throne, or not Shadowed Throne. Play Groston House if you want to get used to it, because that's the tiniest map that you can play besides that, and it doesn't have a whole lot to it. So I'd recommend, if you haven't played this map and you are not necessarily new to the game, but you quit the game a while ago like I did, and you're just now coming back to it, you're gonna struggle. I'm just gonna be blunt. You're gonna struggle with it a lot if you're new to the game, or if you like quit and, like I said, you're restarting. Uh, it's going to be rage inducing and you're going to get pissed off, but eventually you'll figure it out and it'll be less rage inducing. It'll still be a kick in the gut when you fail, but I mean, yeah, it's not as much of a kick in the gut when you fail as it is now that I've finished most of the maps. The only map I haven't finished is uh, the third map, but we just didn't know, we had never gotten to the boss, so we couldn't tell you if it was like, oh, this is that and that is this, and so we weren't really prepared for the boss as we should have been. But now we know it leeches on to stuff, and we can probably do it tomorrow. Now, a lot of people probably are upset because there's no Easter eggs, so like there's not like gonna be a battle between like, or an Easter egg hunt necessarily. I think it's more or less just gonna be like a who can finish the maps first hunt, because I don't think that there is like I don't think that there's like a Easter egg, like a intense hardcore Easter egg for all you Easter egg lovers. I don't think you're gonna get that with this. You might, I don't know, I haven't tried the Easter egg and I don't know if there actually is one. Um, so I can't really help you out with that, with understanding that, but for me at least, if you're a hardcore Easter egg lover, you're not gonna like this map. You're just not gonna like any of the maps. Um, but yeah, next thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about the similarities to Killing Floor. Now they are really there. Like when I first played it, like the first thing I thought about was Killing Floor, and this game's already very similar. Like nobody can lie about that. It's very, very similar. And this map kind of makes it even more so similar to Killing Floor, but it's not like, I wouldn't say it's a blatant ripoff because it has its own twists to it. Um, but yeah, next thing I want to talk about is the map design and what I think about each map so far. The first map I like. It's a fun map, and I like that it has a lot of good colors in it. It's not like bland and dark and depressing. It's fun to play, I would say. Um, but I would say that the second map is fun, but I don't think a lot of people can play that map very continuously because it's, in my personal opinion, so far, it's the hardest map just because it's close quarters, but it's also the easiest map at the same time. It's kind of hard to explain. The second map is the hardest and easiest at the same time because the boss fight is like, it's a piece of cake. If you've done any boss fight ever, it's a piece of cake. It's really simple and easy. But everything surrounding that is somewhat difficult just because it's close quarters, so you can easily get caught on a ledge on the second map or get caught in something and just die. Uh, but yeah. And another thing I want to touch up on really quick. I know this like thoughts on is a little all over the place, but I'm just trying to think about what I want to touch upon. Next thing I want to touch upon is the glitches and the bugs. So every map has kind of had its own glitches and bugs in it. The worst offender, I would say, definitely being Darkest Shore. That map is still broken. I played it the other day and it's still broken. It's bad. It's bad broken. But yeah, as far as I could see, the only real bug slash glitch is on the second map. Sometimes, so sorry, I wanted to check my controller battery to just make sure I wasn't gonna die in the middle of this. Sometimes on the second map, zombies would somewhat clip through the floor, but it was like maybe up to their like shins. It wasn't even up to their knees. So I would say that it's pretty bug and glitch free, surprisingly. Um, I think the maps are overall pretty polished. I mean, sure, if you dig deep, you're probably gonna find a lot of bugs and glitches so far. Um, but yeah, the third map I can't really say if I like. I mean, I like it. What am I saying? I like it. I just can't say if it has like as much content or how big it is because we haven't solved whatever that door is hiding. We just haven't done it yet. We haven't figured it out. So I can't help you in terms of giving overall thoughts on the third map, but it's cool. I mean, all the maps are cool in their own way. I think my first in terms of replayability has to be the first one, but I mean, all these maps are awesome. They're all awesome. Like, if I was gonna get any DLC out of all of them, I would get this one and not get any of the others. Because now I'm probably not gonna go back and play Shadow Throne or any of the other maps again. Maybe Final Reich every now and again, just because it's simple. But all these other maps, like right now, this is so easy for me. Like, I don't know. It just, now that I've played those maps and I've gotten used to there being an insane challenge, it's kind of dumb playing the OG maps. But I hope that they expand upon this story. Like, I hope that they just don't, they're not just one and done with this DLC in terms of this kind of playing style or this kind of map style. I hope they keep doing this with DLC 4. And honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing this for Black Ops 4. Not in every map. I don't want to see this in every map. I hope they don't do it for every map. I hope that it's maybe a few of the maps, but I could get used to it. The only thing I know that it's not going to happen is that you're going to be able to go for high rounds on Black Ops 4, and there's going to be perk vapors and stuff. So I think personally that the reason why they made this kind of a bold choice with, in terms of like how they're choosing to do the maps, I think it's getting us ready for Black Ops 4. That's my personal preference. That's what I think's happening, because we haven't had anything like this really so far. The closest thing I can think of it is Grog Krovi, but even then, it doesn't even like compare. Um, so I think it's getting us ready for Black Ops 4 because I think some of these maps are going to be like that, except for they're like more expanded and like a bigger map than that. Uh, and that you can have an option to choose between like the 10 round mode, or you can have an option to choose between like endless. Like you can just go on and on and on and on and on, and then they're gonna have an Easter egg. So I think it's prepping us for Black Ops 4. That's my opinion on it. I think that's the only reason why they would have made this kind of bold move, because it's so much different than any other thing in the game. And this is the best part. The I almost call it the tragic shore. I don't know why. The tortured path has its own menu, and Black Ops 4 is gonna have different menus between different maps. So I think that's just the vibe it gives me. I think that's what's going on here. I could be really wrong, and I could just be dumb. Uh, both of those are probably true, but yeah, I'm probably wrong about that. But even if I am, oh well. Um, but so far, I gotta say I enjoy all these maps. I think they're all cool. I think they all are unique in their own way. Uh, and I can't wait to see if they do this more for DLC 4. And this has pretty much brought me back to the game. Uh, I think that this is definitely going to bring me and a lot of my other friends back to the game, because this is what we needed. Like, they actually listened when we said innovation, because this is really innovative in terms of zombies, because we've never had anything like this. Now, I don't think I'm going to touch the multiplayer maps just because I don't care about multiplayer in this damn game. I really don't like it. But so far with this DLC, I think that the Tortured Path really hit it out of the park. I think it's a great little series of maps, um, and it kind of like makes all the other maps a little redundant. I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's no real point in playing the rest of the maps if you're gonna play Tortured Path. So I'd recommend getting Tortured Path out of any of the other DLC packs. It's the best in terms of content just because it has 3 maps. Sure, they're not huge and they don't have giant Easter eggs, but I'm kind of happy that they don't, because it's the maps are pretty accessible once you know you're doing, or once you know what you're doing. They're pretty accessible. Like I've beaten the first 2 maps twice tonight, just because they're pretty accessible. Like I said, once you know how to do it and once you know the trick to it. But the one thing that I think really keeps it from being stale per se is the fact that it's random. Like all the special rounds will happen. They won't happen randomly. Like they happen every 3 or so rounds. Every 3 rounds, 3, 6, 9 is when you're gonna get your special rounds. Um, but they happen like there's a different variety of what you can get. There's a few different ones, and um, there's a few different objectives. But I think that the bosses are all. I'm 99.999% sure that all the bosses are exclusive to all the maps. I don't see why they would uh, change that, but my only gripe with this DLC is, like I said, it didn't reach any of my expectations, but it also broke my expectations and like shot them through the roof in a certain way because they're so much different and they're so unique. Um, but yeah, the only thing that like I said, one of the only gripes I have with it is that it didn't reach my expectations. But also that I wish that they could tone down the difficulty on the first map. The first map is, I'd say so far, the hardest map in a way. They're all hard in their own right, but the first map is definitely the most difficult to learn off the bat. Uh, which I don't see why it would be the first map. If anything, I would make the second map the first map because it's a lot less difficult. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this little uh, video. I don't want to make it too long. It's already a little too long. But yeah, if you want to see more Tortured Path, which I'm already gonna do more Tortured Path, and more World War II zombies in the future, then hit that subscribe button if you'd like, and make sure to support the channel if you want to see further content. And yeah, I made the horrible mistake of prestiging, and I regret my decision. Uh, I'm just gonna say that right now. I regret my decision, but luckily it's double XP. I don't know how long the double XP is gonna last, but hopefully for a long time because I am a little upset, not gonna lie, because I decided to be a dingus in Prestige when I have all these maps that I need to get better at. But I just need to level up a lot tonight and then I'll be fine. But yeah, that was pretty much it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and subscribe, leave a like, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys tomorrow with some more Tortured Path, probably earlier in the day than later in the day, but yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace.